eatfresh.org meals featuring canned, frozen, and shelf-stable foods. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. I'm Danielle Boulay, the Training and Development Manager, and I'm also joined by Monica Bhagwan, who's our Program Manager, and she'll join for the second half of the webinar. So today we'll be talking about how to use eatfresh.org to make delicious meals featuring shelf-stable pantry staples and frozen foods. We know that these types of foods are often more convenient and accessible to our participants, so we want them to know that yes, you can make healthy and delicious meals even when you may not be using many or any fresh items. We also want you as facilitators to know how eatfresh.org can support you and your clients with preparing this type of food. So today we'll cover an intro to eatfresh.org and specific resources related to canned, frozen, and shelf-stable foods. We'll cover cooking and preparation tips and resources, along with a few facilitation and integration strategies. Finally, we plan to leave some time for Q&A at the end. As all of our webinars are, this is designed to be interactive. We'll have you respond to poll questions and also invite you to type ideas or questions into the chat box, so please chime in. So before we dive in, we want to start with a brief introduction to our organization. Leah's Pantry was founded in San Francisco in 2006, which means we're approaching our 13th anniversary this fall. Our mission is to improve the health, wellness, and resilience of communities through trauma-informed nutrition security. For those of you who have listened to other presentations, this description might sound a little different. After some strategic planning last year, we are focusing on trauma-informed nutrition education and nutrition security. We still strive for the same mission, that is, we believe everyone deserves nourishing meals every day. We still have the same mix of products and programs, but we are adding new products and forming new partnerships. We accomplish our mission in 3 ways. First, we work directly with a wide variety of program participants, providing opportunities for participants to exercise voice and choice and explore their relationship to food. Our programs aim to build healthy dietary behaviors and resilience. Second, we build capacity among our partner organizations to implement our products and programs through an extensive training calendar, technical assistance, and custom program design and implementation. Third, we start new conversations and invite new perspectives into public health, nutrition, and food security initiatives. We believe that adopting a trauma-informed approach with a focus on healing-centered engagement is the future of our work, and we invite everyone to join as we explore and learn. So let's jump into eatfresh.org. For those of you who are new to eatfresh.org, this will be a great overview of the site. And if you're an active user, thank you, and we hope you'll learn a few new things as well. Millions of Americans struggle with health literacy. This number will continue to grow as our population ages. Limited or low health literacy skills can complicate already challenging problems. This is where eatfresh.org comes in. Since 2013, eatfresh.org has been serving the CalFresh Healthy Living community. The site was created specifically for the low-income California audience. Over the past 5 years, the project has grown thanks to the participation of 300+ partners like you. eatfresh.org has evolved over the past 5 years through ongoing user testing at CalFresh offices, libraries, and community centers, and through partner and stakeholder feedback. We know that many of our users are still learning how to navigate the internet, and we do our best to make all of our online tools approachable, especially for users who may have low digital literacy. Now let's take a look at the site. So give us a second. We are going to switch to screen share, which will take a little bit of time. Okay, so I think everyone can see our screen. Let's switch. to eatfresh.org. Let me just minimize this. Oops. Okay, there we go. Eatfresh.org is a multilingual, mobile-friendly recipe and chronic disease prevention website. This site is available in English, Spanish, and Chinese. The language switcher on a desktop is in the upper right-hand corner. This feature comes in handy when you are presenting or working with clients that speak multiple languages. The majority of the website is translated, so you can provide the appropriate handouts in whatever languages are relevant to the groups that you're working with. So let's start with the home page, which is where we're at now. This is where users can click on the CalFresh button right here and when they click on that button, they'll be directed to the appropriate application portal. You can also find local WIC offices or information about school lunches and watch videos about the site. We encourage you all to share how to use eatfresh.org video, the video on the right. And you can share it with your coworkers and clients just to get them acquainted with the site. It provides a great high-level overview. You can also sign up for our weekly email health tips on the home page, which is right below the orange CalFresh button. And here is an example of the health tips. Sorry for my busy screen. So we pull content from our lifestyle pages and feature a recipe on it. This one offers ideas on how to add flavor without adding salt. This is relevant to today's topic, and we'll actually talk more about preparation later with Monica. We would encourage you and your clients to sign up for these tips. They're friendly reminders on how to integrate healthy practices into your daily life. Let's go back to the website. Okay. So recipes are by far the most popular feature on eatfresh.org, accounting for 70% of total traffic. There are over 500 recipes on the website that are easy to make, tasty, healthy, and affordable on a limited budget. We have added a large number of new recipes over the past few years, and these delicious recipes reflect the incredible diversity of our California residents. You can use the filters to find recipes from African, Middle Eastern, Native American, or Pacific Rim communities, to name a few. There are more. You can also use filters to make sure that the recipe you're selecting is appropriate for your audience. While eatfresh.org doesn't have a specific filter for canned, shelf-stable, or frozen items, the limited kitchen filter can be helpful. So that's under cooking environment. So it's right here. This filter includes simple recipes that can be prepared with a microwave, crockpot, or ones that require no cooking at all. Another way to access recipes using shelf-stable items is by using the search bar. A good search term for recipes using shelf-stable items is canned. So let's type that in now. So when we enter that search term, 256 recipes come up. Or to narrow that down, we're going to enter canned bean, which now brings up 88 recipes. Another search term you can use is frozen, which identifies 104 recipes. So let's click into the avocado, rice, and beans. So this features 3 shelf-stable ingredients: rice, beans, spices, along with a vegetable that doesn't need to be refrigerated, an avocado. This is a simple and versatile recipe based on what types of beans, spices, and rice you have on hand and want to use. Related to its versatility, I want to highlight our hover tip feature. This teaches the skill that cooking can be flexible and you can use what you have on hand rather than running to the store for a couple of ingredients. This tip helps build cooking skills and instills more confidence in people that might be newer to the kitchen. It also helps those who may be unfamiliar with a particular ingredient. All recipe ingredients are linked to Discover Food pages through Hover Tool Tips. Let's hover over beans. So if you click on Read More About, you'll be linked to the relevant page. Oops. There we go. So these pages give an overview of the food or food group. You'll find photos, a basic description, buying tips, storing tips to make the food last longer, basic preparation without a recipe, and health benefits of the food. These pages are great to reference in a recipe demo to highlight a particular ingredient or talk about seasonal produce that clients can purchase at the farmer's market or pick up at a local food pantry. You can use the toolbar on the top right to print these pages and use them as handouts. You can also share them via email or social media. The Discover Foods pages also highlight relevant recipes. So there's a featured recipe to the right, which here you'll see is brown rice and black beans. And then there are also more recipes at the bottom. So let's dive back into a recipe. We're going to click into bean dumplings, which we created with Native American youth last year. So similar to Discover Foods pages, you can email recipes to yourself, coworkers, or family members. You can post the recipes on your organization's social media, and you do all of that by the sharing toolbar on the top right. When sharing the website with clients during a class or community event, you can ask participants to search for a recipe that looks good to them and then have them email or text the recipe to themselves so that they have it saved for later. You can also adjust the yield of the recipes to change how much food is made. So this is a useful feature for both clients and facilitators. One reason why some of our clients, particularly people living in single resident occupancy hotels, need shelf-stable items is because they have limited or no access to refrigeration. With this feature, they can scale down the recipes to avoid making more than they'll need to eat for that meal. Or as a facilitator, you can do the opposite and scale the recipe up according to the number of workshops or demo participants you anticipate. So I've just been clicking on the either have or double recipe feature. So now we're up to making bean dumplings for 64 people, which would be a very large group. So we'd encourage all of you to try a recipe featuring canned, frozen, and shelf-stable ingredients this week. The more familiar you are with these recipes, the easier it will be to promote them and also share your favorite recipes, substitutions, and tips with clients. So moving on, the Ask a Dietitian feature allows our users to ask nutrition-related questions that our colleague Anna will answer. Anna cannot answer questions about specific health conditions, but can give practical suggestions and share resources. If your clients have questions about the healthfulness of their canned, frozen, and shelf-stable items, have them reach out. We've also had facilitators submit questions for clients. In a workshop setting, for example, you can poll the group for questions, submit them to Anna, and then have a response by your next workshop. So let's move on to the lifestyle pages. These provide actionable ideas on how to overcome common barriers. The format of these pages was built specifically with stages of change in mind. Lifestyle pages are organized by categories, which are listed on the right-hand side under Explore Other Healthy Tips. The primary categories relevant to today's topic include general nutrition and shopping and budgeting. Let's click into shopping and budgeting. Some relevant lifestyle pages include Don't be overwhelmed by nutrition facts, food code dates are often misleading. If you visit a food pantry, choose the most nutritious items. Let's go to the next page. So let's click into Make Smart Choices for Canned, Boxed, and Bagged Goods. The page begins with a barrier statement. So in this case, I like the convenience of packaged foods, but I'm told they're unhealthy. So it starts with that barrier statement and ends with a call to action that can be done within a few days, which is the try this section at the bottom. So these pages can also be easily printed and shared using the toolbar at the top right. Lifestyle pages also feature relevant recipes, in this case, pumpkin oatmeal on the right. And lifestyle pages also feature, so in addition to the recipes, they also highlight related lifestyle pages, such as, and if you scroll down, it's under related pages, such as sugary beverages can make you sick, and ignore the claims in the front of packaged foods. So I want to highlight a new resource that we created under related resources. So it's the Healthy Pantry Staples Guide. So this highlights our favorite healthy pantry staples and includes some recipe bundling examples. We know that some of you have issues accessing Dropbox, which is where this document lives, so this guide will also be shared within our follow-up email to you. Okay, so let's move on to My Local Resources. This will take you to a page of resources in your county. If your computer or smartphone is unable to detect your location, you'll see a list of counties that you can select so that you can select the county you'd like to view. So that would just be, if I click into choose a different county, you'll see a list there. So each county page lists farmers markets that accept EBT, WIC, including those that participate in Market Match. Market Match, which goes by several names in California, is an incentive program where CalFresh clients receive extra money to buy produce at the farmer's market. Details vary, but eatfresh.org will at least be able to help your clients find nearby markets that participate. If your clients want to learn more about CalFresh and their eligibility, they can use the button on the top right, which is Apply for CalFresh. It's the orange button on the right. And then they'll be linked to the Get CalFresh homepage. We also link contact information for county offices and local food banks in the area. If you scroll down, we'll see examples of that in San Francisco. So please let us know if you have updates or other things you'd like to add to your county page. So most of the information we get on these pages is source partner, so please definitely give us feedback. And you can send us comments directly on the website by clicking on the feedback tab. I have to move the window a little bit to see it. So it's this feedback tab on the right. Click the feedback tab, that's where you can provide it. So great, that is a quick summary of the site. So now Monica is going to share some kind of cooking and preparation tips.
Here's some quick tips to choose healthy items. These tips can be found in the lifestyle pages Danielle mentioned earlier. So tip number 1 is to avoid foods that have more than 5 ingredients. So long ingredient lists often just mean a lot of processing that strips foods of nutrients. Tip number 2 is choose foods made from ingredients that you can identify in their raw state or growing in nature. This is just another way of identifying whole or minimally processed foods. These foods will have more of their nutrients intact. Number 3 is don't be fooled by healthy sounding catchphrases on the front of the package. So claims like high fiber, or low fat, or gluten-free might be useful, but be sure to look closer at the ingredients list. Sometimes these phrases might hide less healthy aspects, such as high sodium or high sugar. Number 4 is look out for sodium and hidden added sugars and read the labels closely for sodium content and added sugars in the ingredients. Sugars often have other names, such as concentrated fruit juice, honey, or rice syrup. So you have to look very carefully at that list. And number 5 is to select 100% whole grain foods. So some products make it easier by having a symbol such as this one. Otherwise, you can look for the word whole, as in whole grain or whole wheat, in the first few ingredients. So here are some of our favorite products in the canned, boxed, or bagged aisle. These are versatile, budget-friendly staple ingredients that are great to have on hand to make preparing nutritious and delicious meals more convenient. Many of these products are frequently available at the food bank or food pantry. So canned beans, canned fish, or canned chicken are convenient, shelf-stable proteins to have on hand. Canned vegetables like tomatoes and pumpkin are especially nutrient-dense. Canned fruits, ideally ones packed in juice and not syrup, can be added to savory dishes as well as sweet ones. Low-sodium broths and boxed milks are also useful to have on hand. And finally, let's not forget specialty items like olives, pickles, artichoke hearts, and roasted peppers. They add extra flavor and enliven many dishes. Just be sure to rinse off the salt and not go overboard on adding these. So here we're going to have some other shelf-stable items that can be part of a healthy diet. Whole grain nuts have a lot of fiber and healthy fats that are missing from many diets. Other whole grain products like pastas and noodles are inexpensive items that can last a while. Finally, you just need a few versatile salt-free spices and dried herbs for creating delicious meals. So do be aware that these items may not have as long of a shelf life as some other shelf-stable ingredients, especially when compared to canned or jarred foods. So nuts, whole grains, as well as things like cooking oils will go rancid if they stay too long on the shelf. You can taste or smell these items to see if they're unpleasant or bitter. If there's a space in the fridge or the freezer, you can store them there so that they will not go as bad as quickly. Also, spices do lose their flavor if they're very old, so it's worth replacing those as frequently as possible. However, many products have a longer shelf life than what is printed in the product, and they're perfectly safe to eat. So let's turn back to the code dates are often misleading lifestyle page that Danielle mentioned earlier. This is the lifestyle page that's called Code Dates Are Often Misleading. Here you can find more information on storing and when to discard products. This page has some particularly useful tools, especially since food pantries often distribute items that are close to or past the code dates. First, there's a video that you can watch to understand the meaning of the dates stamped on the products. On the right of the page, there are 2 more links that lead to handy resources. The first one is from our partner, the San Francisco Marin Food Bank, which has compiled a great list showing how long foods can be kept past their dates. Your clients might find it particularly useful to have a copy at home to reference as needed. Once these packaged products are opened, however, they must be stored properly and used quickly. The Food Keeper app right below it is where you can look up individual foods to find information on how to store and how long a food lasts after opening. For example, you can find out how long a jar of tomato sauce can be kept once it has been opened. So some canned and frozen products do have some differences from their fresh counterparts. In addition to often being packed in salt, sugar, or oil to preserve them, the processing can change the texture and flavor. So to help your clients get the best taste, texture, and nutrition from their canned, shelf-stable, or frozen products, it helps to share these tips. So draining canned vegetables, beans, or syrup-packed fruits or oil-packed products like tuna is one tip. Rinsing to reduce salt, sugar, or fat content and any residue from the liquid that is packed in. And use uncooked or lightly cooked, use these products uncooked or lightly cooked and stir gently, since many of these products are already cooked or more delicate. Here are some more tips for cooking, especially with frozen products. Defrost frozen products in the fridge, then drain or lightly squeeze excess water for the best texture. Like canned foods, frozen foods are also frequently pre-cooked or a little bit more delicate than fresh. Defrosted vegetables taste almost like fresh ones when lightly cooked or sautéed rather than steamed or boiled after they're defrosted. So also avoid refreezing fully defrosted products to maintain texture and quality. And you can always jazz up the flavor of these products with spices, fried or dried herbs, acidic ingredients like lemon, lime, and vinegar. Now we're going to share one of our best strategies for using shelf-stable products that you can share with your clients. We call these bundled recipes. You saw one of these earlier in the Healthy Pantry Staples Guide on eatfresh.org that Danielle introduced earlier. Showing clients how to combine a few shelf-stable products, sometimes with a fresh item and the seasonings of their choice, might inspire some creative and tasty meals. So here are two examples of filling hot meals that can be prepared entirely with packaged products. We have diced tomatoes, black beans, and vegetable broth can make black bean soup. So what spices or other ingredients would you add to these three to flavor that soup? Type an answer in the chat box and see if you come up with some interesting ideas. Cumin and paprika. I definitely love cumin in soup. Black bean soup. Hot sauce, yep. Hot sauce too. It's my favorite. Chili powder, onions. Cumin and onion powder. Garlic. Fresh chopped kale, yes. Cilantro and cayenne. A lot of folks like spicy. Garlic. These are great ideas. So you can see how this could be a fun activity to do with clients. Right below it, we have another creative way to use oatmeal with canned peaches and a boxed milk to make fruity hot oatmeal. So you can make some hearty meals with just a few ingredients. You can also introduce your clients to no-cook meals, such as a Three Sisters salad. It's prepared by mixing fresh chopped squash, canned black beans, and canned corn, along with a favorite salad dressing and some spices. Finally, even boxed meals like mac and cheese and ramen or canned soup can be made more nourishing by adding protein and vegetables. So now it's your turn to get creative. Here we have an assortment of ingredients. We have tuna, frozen broccoli, canned garbanzos, canned olives, soy sauce, diced tomatoes, eggs, brown rice, and some shredded cheddar cheese. So your challenge is to combine these into a tasty dish. So take 2 minutes to think and type in a dish you might prepare with at least 3 of these ingredients. And then type it into the chat box. Think of it as an Iron Chef.
And extra credit for anyone who can come up with a snazzy name for this dish, too.
So egg, broccoli, and cheese. Excellent. Tuna, broccoli, and olives and soy sauce. Broccoli, tuna, soy sauce. Easy no-crust broccoli quiche. I'd love to know more about that. Brown rice, broccoli, and cheese, like a casserole, I'm guessing. Eggs, tomato, cheese. Yeah, tuna with brown rice and soy sauce. That's a really simple combination. And vegetarian stuff here too. Rice with broccoli and garbanzo beans. Brown rice, egg, and soy sauce. Some omelets here. Tomato and broccoli omelet. Yeah, fried rice is a good one. It's a great one to use a variety of things. Rice casserole. Ooh, they're just coming in. Look at all these inspired ideas. An egg salad. Oh, tuna, black olive, and egg salad. Yes.
Yum.
Oh, fantastic fried brown rice. Love it.
You might see these up on eatfresh.org
yes,
at some point.
We're going to steal some ideas. Brown rice bowl with broccoli, olives, and tomatoes. Great. Well, thank you so much for these ideas. And if anything else comes to mind while we finish the presentation, go ahead and add it. Spanish rice, yes, that's a good combo too. So you're making us hungry, so I hope we make it through this rest of this presentation. So now we want to share a few ideas about how you can integrate what we've covered today into your work with clients. There are plenty of ways to engage your clients preparing canned, frozen, or shelf-stable foods. So of course you can encourage their creativity like we just did by running a bundling activity during your workshop or demo. Or you can, better yet, you can share photos, or better yet, you can bring actual packaged items as examples. If you use our Food Smarts curriculum, there's flexibility in the final half of each lesson, so you could run a bundling activity during that time. In addition to the cooking and preparation tips I shared earlier, you can also have your clients share their favorite pantry staples or cooking tips, and then offer your own. Next, if you're preparing food for workshops or demos, choose eatfresh.org recipes that highlight a particular packaged ingredient. For example, it might be fun to demo some recipes that featured canned pumpkin, or find a recipe that uses mostly canned, shelf-stable, or frozen vegetables for your workshop or demo. And then you can also just simply remind participants of potential swaps and add-ins for recipes. For example, frozen berries can replace fresh ones when berries aren't in season. Or it might be more convenient to use frozen broccoli for a last-minute vegetable scrambled eggs or casserole instead of fresh broccoli. And for those needing to add more nutrient-dense foods to their diets, canned beans, tuna, or tomatoes can be added to many recipes.
Great, so thanks so much, Monica. I love all of those implementation ideas. So before we jump into Q&A, we want to share what resources will be coming your way via a follow-up email. So we will be sharing a link to the recorded webinar, presentation slides, healthy pantry staples, also a new meal plan that we just created this week that is 4 easy dinners using canned foods. We'll also include a link to our partner registration. If you haven't already registered as a partner on our site, please do. This will give you access to partner resources like print-ready recipe cards, our eatfresh.org toolkit, our Food Smarts curriculum, if you've been trained to use that, and so on. So we'll send a link to that in the follow-up email. And then finally, we'll also share a registration link to our next webinar on May 16th, which is using eatfresh.org to reduce household food waste. So now we can open it up for questions. If you have any questions about the site, or even if you have additional implementation ideas or stories around how you've kind of highlighted these types of foods within your workshop or demo settings, that would be great. It's okay. Yeah. Doesn't look like we have any questions yet. We'll wait just another minute. Are you going to try any of the bundling recipes or dishes that you just thought of? Great, the bundling idea during events. I'm glad that you're going to try that, Laura, because it really can be used in different settings, whether it's a health fair, or a demo, or a workshop. And the more that I think clients can interact with real products, the better. And you can even pair that with a nutrition facts panel, lesson on how to dissect and read those, and even front of the label packaging, so how to decode those, what is gluten-free, organic, what do all those things mean? So the more you can have those packages, there's a lot of great lessons kind of to share through that. Okay, so we don't see any questions. Be sure to stay in touch and email or call us with any questions you might have. We definitely want to be a resource for you as you integrate eatfresh.org into your work. And I did want to mention that this webinar is funded by USDA SNAP program, which is an equal opportunity provider and employer. So thank you all for starting your day with us. We really appreciate your time and all the great ideas that you shared. Have a wonderful day. We are going to sign off now. Bye.
Bye-bye.